What's up YouTube? My name is John and today I'm going to show you how to install a Cusco front strut tower bar on your GE8 Honda Fit. Let's get started. So you're going to want to start by removing these rubber caps that cover the 14mm bolt. You should be able to just pop those off with your hands. Let's go get our nut and ratchet and get these things off of here. You know, if you're not used to taking things apart, be smart, grab a dish, keep all your loose parts organized. So this cowl can be a little bit tricky to take off. The best way that I have found to do it is to start with these two upper pieces. You can see they're separated right here, and if you get underneath here, pretty easy. Yeah, it just pops out like that. And once you got it out, there's a tab that holds it in place, and with a little bit of effort you can get it to come off. Alright, so next you're going to want to remove this rubber sealing strip right here. And you'll notice that the cowl is really kind of split into a couple sections here, but you know, it really ultimately comes off pretty much as one piece. So once you get all the tabs freed up on the cowl here and you have it loose, the line for the washer fluid and the two sprayers are up here in this piece. So I found in the past that once you kind of pull it free here, if you flip it upside down like that, you can see what you need to do. And there are two Phillips heads right here. You're going to take out both of those, and then both of these nozzles right here will come free. So this is the packaging that you get from Cusco when you order the front strut tower bar. Honestly, I was a little disappointed when it came. There was a small piece of damage. I don't think you can see it through this plastic. Maybe, yeah, right there. Small ding on it right there. It's not a big deal, you know. That's the bottom side. It's never going to be seen. But you know, it really, you know, should have been. It did come in a cardboard box, but the box, you know, had no packaging inside of it. There was nothing to protect the product itself, so just in this plastic bag inside the box. So what do you get with the Cusco Tower Bar? Looks like a set of instructions, completely in Japanese. I think there's some pictures in here. Yeah, all the instructions though are in Japanese, so we're going to figure this out together. I believe what it references right here in the manual, this piece, is a piece used to lower the reservoir tank for the brake fluid. So from what I've seen online, the bar actually fits without doing this. You don't have to do this, but the top of the bar essentially makes contact with the reservoir right here. The mounting points, you know, are not exactly, they're not on top of the strut towers themselves. I believe they use the bolts for your hood, so they go around it. We'll find out. I may be mistaken about that, but we'll look and see exactly where it all mounts. And then it also uses a center point mount right here on this under cowl, this heat shield for your engine. So I believe it mounts up here as well. So let's see if we can figure this out. Alright, so next step, we're going to remove this chassis brace right here that goes to this heat shield, or this underneath cowl. So we're going to remove this and we're going to replace it with the one that Cusco has provided. Okay, so you definitely need to use the bracket that's provided to lower the brake fluid reservoir tank. There's two tanks here, this one and this one. Start by removing the small one first. It's just one 10mm bolt, and then you'll have access to this bracket which sits underneath and holds this tank up. So there's one bolt here that you'll want to remove. This is also just a 10mm bolt. That's what connects the tank into the top of the bracket. You can move this tank out of the way, move the small tank out of the way, and then you have access to the two 10mm bolts that holds the bracket on. And we're going to replace this with this bracket. So you can see the massive difference there in height. So this is going to lower it down enough so we can get the tower bar on. Alright, so next you're going to want to mock your bar up in place. Now I will say, because of my supercharger being installed, I did have to unbolt the cowl on each end right here and just back those out just a little bit so I could get the clearance to get the center mount to the chassis underneath. So like that did give me clearance, but I had to move, I had to back this out, and it didn't look like it said anything about that in the instructions, even though they were in Japanese, and I'm really not sure they could have said anything. So we're going to go with that. You know, sometimes you just have to do what works. Just make sure everything's tightened back down and nothing looks strange in the end. So you're going to start by removing each one of these bolts. These connect to the hood, but there is an extra bolt in the back here, so don't worry, your hood's not going to fall off or come out of alignment or anything like that. So just go ahead and take these off, and we're going to line these up one side at a time. Alright, so we have the bar installed. As you can see, connected on the passenger side. There's the center mount, which bolts underneath. Right there. And the driver's side mounts it up. Now I will say, if you are doing this with the Sprintex supercharger, it is difficult to fit. I did have to loosen up several things, like this undercowl. I also had to modify this brace right here. This slot that holds this bolt at the bottom just wasn't quite long enough, so I had to extend it just a little bit, you know, to get the bolt to go in easily. But I think it looks great, and I can't wait to check it out and see how it performs. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I did lose a little bit of video towards the end on my other camera, where I actually bolted it up, but that's what I'm doing here, just trying to show you the basics. It's pretty straightforward. If you're doing this without a supercharger, that thing's going to slide right in. If you are doing it with the Sprintex, it's a little more difficult, but it definitely still works. All right, awesome.